Hey everyone, welcome to another video. I'm going to try this in a little bit of a different fashion to the ones I've done in the past. So try to be a little bit more chatty and engaging. I've got a cup of coffee. So we'll just sit here and have a chat for a little bit. Basically, I wanted to do this video because I don't really have a March TBR as such. I haven't really thought about really what I want to read in March. I just got a stack of books that I've bought recently that I'm going to pick through. But then I saw that David Murphy came back to YouTube. Or he posted another video on YouTube. He hasn't posted one since like October or something, and I've been waiting for him to come back and post more videos. I just realized I have my AirPods in. So I've been waiting for him to come back and post more videos, and he did. And the video he posted, which I'll link down below, was kind of his March TBR, and in particular he spoke about March of the Mammoths, which is something that I didn't know about. It is a readathon that was started by there's kind of three people who host it, and I'm forgetting who it is, but the idea is that you use March to read a long book that you kind of avoid just because it's long, and I thought that was a cool idea. I generally don't avoid long books, but like sometimes I do get the feeling of like, oh, that's going to take me a while. It's a long one. So I thought I would pick a couple of long books to show you and talk about. I won't get through these in March. Actually, there is one I do want to get through in March, but I thought I'd show you a couple of long books which I've picked up recently or that I've found interesting or intriguing. I haven't read any of these, or probably haven't read any of these. I'll see which books I get to during the video. So we'll start off, and this is one I picked up at a bookshop in Sydney. If you live in Sydney, go to Abby's bookshop. It is quite a little bit on the pricey side, but they've got really cool books, kind of books that you wouldn't find in a normal bookstore because they're a little bit more specialist, or like they're not popular books. Okay, so sorry, I just had to look something up quickly. The first book I'm picking up is this. It is Rising Star: The Making of Barack Obama by David J. Garrow, and this is one that I picked up in Abby's bookshop on the weekend, and it's one that I actually saw in a Remainder bookstore a while ago. Like sort of a few months ago, and I didn't buy it, and then when I went back for it, someone else had bought it, and I was quite frustrated. I couldn't remember who wrote it or like whatever. This is a chunky book. I think without the notes it runs to 1078 pages. That's a chunky one. Garrow is supposed to be really good. I've seen him compared to Robert Caro, who wrote a series of excellent biographies. One that comes to mind is the one on Lyndon Johnson. I think it's in 3 or 4 volumes, and I've read one of the volumes, and it's excellent. I've heard him compared to, heard Garrow compared to Caro. So this is one. I find Obama fascinating. I find it fascinating that a guy in Kenya can have a son who becomes the US president. I think that's wild. So, yeah, this is something I've been wanting to pick up for a while and read for a while. This probably isn't going to be my March read. It's probably going to be my April read, just because a few things. So, yeah. Like this is one that I have been wanting to get to. So finally found it and picked it up. And the other one, and this probably is going to be my March read, and it is Frederick Longueval's JFK Volume 1. This came out, I think, in November or December last year. And it's just first off, look at this edition. It's a beautiful edition. It's got like I don't know how to describe it. It's like kind of a cardboardy, like there's some texture to the cover, and like the lettering is raised a little bit. This is, I mean, what it says on the tin. It's a biography of JFK, and it doesn't quite fit into March of the Mammoths. It runs about 750 pages or so. March of the Mammoths is supposed to be 800 pages, but like this is a fairly big book. I'll just show you for comparison. Rising Star is a fairly normal sized book. JFK is a little bit bigger. So it's a very big chunky book. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to use it as my March of the Mammoths read. This doesn't have plates in it, which is interesting. It does have pictures throughout though. Would have preferred it to have plates in there, but I mean, what can you do? It does have some really nice pictures. Like here's one I just opened to of looks like the young Jack and Jackie. But yeah, so this is what I want to read. I have tried other biographies of JFK before, and I find them a little bit obtuse. I think that there's a lot of... I think if it's written for an American audience, there's a lot of assumptions that you know who the Kennedy family are, and I don't really know who the Kennedy family are. So, like in a great deal of detail and in a cultural sense. So this, I think, will be useful. I think it's supposed to really give the whole story. And obviously there will be further volumes coming out about it. So, I mean, there's at least going to be one more volume on his life. This one, just for reference, covers... I have no idea what this covers actually. 1917 to 1956. So before sort of the presidency comes onto the radar. In terms of some other, actually, I just looked around. I've got David Nassau's The Patriarch, which is the remarkable life and turbulent times of Joseph P. Kennedy. This has been sitting on my shelf for a little while, and I've never got to it. This is actually also kind of a good... Actually, it's almost a better candidate for March of the Mammoths. It runs to 791 pages. So this is actually a better March of the Mammoths read. So maybe I'll read that before JFK, and then I'll read JFK, but we'll see. In terms of some other big books that I found really easy to read and really good, I think that Andrew Roberts' Napoleon the Great was a really engaging read. This is obviously the Penguin edition, and it runs to... Oh, it's not actually that long. It runs to 802 pages. So, if you want something that fits right into March of the Mammoths, this one is a good one. It's a really good introduction to Napoleon, and Andrew Roberts writes really, really well. And then probably the other one, just staying on that theme, the other one that I really, really like is Andrew Roberts' Churchill. This one is the hardcover, published by, I think, Viking. Yeah, this is the Viking hardcover, and a beautiful edition. It's very chunky. It's quite a heavy book. But this runs to basically 1,000 pages. 980 pages. So that's another good one. Andrew Roberts writes really well, brings the person he's writing about to life on the page. So those are some recommendations. I've read them before. And yeah, if you have any recommendations for big chunky books that you think I'd like, please drop them in the comments below. Like the video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this kind of more chatty style. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.